Okay, so if you see there, I got the corners done, a little filled in a little better. Spin you around here. I think that looks a lot better. And then these are all finished. I was gonna fill that in. I think what I'm gonna do is gonna build a cover for that that's kind of removable, because I think a little cubby might be handy for putting 2x4s and stuff like that, for, you know, blocking for the cars up and down, and then I'll have to fill my boxes. So yeah, I thought rather than filling that in, leave it. I'll make a cover for it that opens, maybe on a hinge or something like that. And I wasn't sure, you never know, I'm not sure I like where the winch is, so I might end up moving it closer to the truck, we'll see. And then obviously there's gonna be a cab guard on here, so it's not gonna be that noticeable. I got all my steel for the cab guard over here. I'm basically at the point, I kind of decided Bodywork's all done. I'm gonna, I think, paint this thing, paint the bed for now. Obviously I can't paint the cab guard, you know, the front edge of it on the truck. So what I'm probably gonna do is, I wanna have this thing painted so I can, you know, I can go outside or whatever, rather than being in my shop plugging it up, and then build a cab guard after, and then paint it and have it basically a bolt on, so I can, you know, take it on, take it off, removable. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Shop's a disaster. I got garage tour coming up here March 1st, so. But some exciting, my focus is about to change. ACC torque converters. I got from Summit Racing. This thing is tiny. This is going in the hot rod. So the part number is 48444. It is they call it, I think they're kind of smart with the way they do their torque converter ratings. Is this one is a 32 to 3500 stall. So it all depends on what power your car is making. So if they just say it's a 3500 stall and your car is making 300 horsepower, or 500 horsepower, or 600 horsepower, it's not going to be right. So I'm hoping for around 3500 stall. That's kind of what I want in that thing. It's a lockup converter also. That has a TCI 700R4 in it, which has an overdrive with a lockup, which is gonna be super nice for that thing. And the lockup in this is vacuum operated, so it locks up in every single gear, which is really cool. It has a stock stall converter in there right now, and it's really holding me back at the track. So yeah, that's gonna be the next. I'm gonna put that up on the lift after this garage tour, pull the tranny. I got a bit of a leak, so hopefully I'll find out where that leak is coming from and throw that in there, and hopefully the lockup works. Hopefully the stall is close to what I want. I was really on the fence because they had 32 3500 stall, and then they had a what they have 36 to 4000 or something like that. And I mean, that's kind of a big range. And so I was bouncing between the two, and I was like, well, I have a small tranny cooler on this already, so I'm hoping with that, with the lockup, it will trans temperatures shouldn't be too crazy, and maybe I won't, you know, this isn't really set up suspension wise amazing for drag racing, so hopefully it won't hit too hard and break the tires loose and still be quite streetable. And yeah, when I found out, or when I realized you buy lockup converters, originally I was talking to guys thinking, oh, I want to put like a, 2400 stall in, or 2700 stall, 2800 stall, and everybody was kind of like, that's not enough if you're going to be drag racing it. So this seems like a big jump, but I think it'll be a good compromise, good in between. And yeah, another issue I had, so this car has been kind of fighting me a little bit. All of a sudden, I've done this a couple times where I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm tinkering with it, and this car is kind of wired funny. So you got your ignition, well, your starter, I guess. Your ignition for your coil is here, and sometimes I shut it off, and for whatever reason, I forget to turn the key off, or I unlock it to roll it back or something, so the column's unlocked, and then I don't put it, shut it off all the way. And a couple of times now, 2 or 3, I think 3 times I've done this now, I've left the key on, and you know how these cars are, you don't move them for a couple weeks. And anyways, got back to the car was completely dead. This is probably the 3rd time this happened, and really dead. So I do have a battery shut off switch I should use. I try to get in the habit of using it more. But anyways, so put a charger on the battery, and fired the car up, but it did seem like it kind of, it was harder to start all of a sudden. So I was thinking, whatever. When it was running, it seemed fine, but I'd let it sit, and then all of a sudden it would be, it'd crank and crank and crank, and then it would kind of slowly crank down, and it would almost be trying to fire, but not quite. And so I started thinking, did I cook my coil? And let me know in the comments. But I tested the coil. You do your ohms resistance and everything, and it's a little bit out of spec, but not bad. And I could tell, I'm like, well, it's getting spark. Anyways, so finally I decided, just pull a battery out of what is a good battery. So I thought maybe as it's cranking, it's dropping below 12 volts, so it's not getting, the MSD box isn't getting a good spark, and this isn't. Because I went through and checked everything, and so that seems to be fix my issue. I put a good battery in there, and it seems to have fixed my problem. I'll try now. This battery's not even that great, but it's a Optima battery, gel battery. So it seems to, even though it's old, they seem to last way longer. But this will kind of be the tell, because it would. Even the pump's noisier now, so. Anyways, so it starts now. So that was the issue. The battery was just, it was not terrible. Well, it was losing its charge as you're cranking it. So when the starter's pulling, it stopped pulling. Anyway, so I'll get in the habit of shut that off. So nice to know. I didn't have an ignition issue. I didn't have. It would crank and almost start cranking slower, and then because of the time around, it would once in a while puff back through the carburetor. So you're wondering, what the heck? Was my timing off? I pulled the distributor cap off and was checking everything and cleaning stuff. But anyway, seems to have fixed my problem. I could probably put a new set of plugs on this thing. Okay, do a bit of a tune-up on her. Plugs, oil change. But yeah, anyways, that's a shop update. I gotta do a big clean in here again. And probably next time you see this thing, it will be black.